What version of CJ Stroud will we get in the NFL? Well, I do believe after Stroud's performance in the Peach Bowl, NFL scouts and executives are asking themselves that question.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Tuesday, January 24th in the year 2023, and this episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. During this episode, we will discuss possible landing spots where CJ Stroud will fall in the upcoming NFL draft and an award that Brice Sensabaugh has won for the fourth time during his freshman season. But before we get to any of that, CJ Stroud's performance is something, it's performance in the Peach Bowl. It is something we will be talking about for a long time. From a guy during his previous 25 starts as QB1 at Ohio State, we got to see what he could do with his arm. Didn't really get much glimpse during that time as a starter from what he could do with his legs. We all knew that there may be the ability to utilize his legs consistently, but we just didn't see it. That all of a sudden, game number 26 as a starter was a time when Stroud used every ability, every skill set that he has, and it makes me wonder what version of Stroud will we get in the National Football League. Ultimately, this is a question I do believe, like I mentioned earlier, NFL scouts, executives, coaches, maybe even NFL players are asking themselves about Ohio State's QB1 in 2022, even in 2021. Why was it that we only got this version of Stroud the last game of his career? Why in the world was this not an asset of the Ohio State playbook? Nobody knows. Well, somebody knows. I don't know. I can speculate. I know what I think might be true. I just can't confirm it or deny it at this point in time. But we all think, I think, that there was something going on in there, maybe with Stroud or maybe with Ryan Day. Something was just being held back. And I'm not sure why. And what if that was the coaching staff? Well, the coaching staff is not there anymore. New coaching staff in the NFL. The NFL is going towards more of your mobile. It's continuing to go more towards your mobile quarterbacks that still possess an elite arm. And ultimately, Stroud can be mobile. Didn't see all the mobility that we got in the Peach Bowl throughout Stroud's entire career as a starting quarterback at Ohio State. But I do believe that Peach Bowl performance might be a glimpse of what Stroud can do in the National Football League. Now, I remember when I mentioned that the league is continuing to go towards mobile quarterbacks with elite arms. When I was a youngster, when many of you were youngsters, all your quarterbacks were just pocket passers, 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop. Might have to go right a little bit, might have to go left a little bit, might have to move in the pocket. But those all pocket-style, pro-style quarterbacks, that's what they were described as. Then all of a sudden, as things kept going, we got more dual threat. Your Braxton Miller, a little bit of your JT Barrett. Now, Barrett wasn't the best thrower of the football, but he was a gamer, man. I mean, you knew big game, Penn State, he's going to get you there. He's going to help you there, make a big play with his arm, with his legs. Didn't matter. That was JT Barrett. But I do believe, though, what we're getting now with Ryan Day and with the quarterbacks that he's recruiting to Ohio State, I think those are the same style of quarterbacks that you want in the NFL. A Braxton Miller or JT Barrett, yeah, you may want a more of a dual threat quarterback or a mobile quarterback in the NFL now and even back then, but those guys didn't possess the arm that you need to be an elite quarterback or a starting quarterback at the next level, which is why neither one of them really played quarterback at all in the NFL. I think Braxton Miller only played receiver. JT Barrett got on a practice squad or two, but never was a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Stroud possesses that elite arm, an extremely elite arm. Elite ball placement, one of my favorite things that Stroud has in his bag. I do believe his elite ball placement with his accuracy and his ability to hit all the throws and to throw guys open, because not every college quarterback can throw a guy open. I do believe Stroud is a perfect quarterback for maybe one of the teams in the top 5 of this upcoming NFL draft. But will he use his legs as well? Nobody knows what kind of quarterback Stroud will be, what version we're going to get in the NFL. Here's what I hope happens from CJ Stroud. I hope that Stroud, once he gets to the NFL level, he gets the speed down. He understands what's coming to his left, coming from his right. He understands the run concepts, the footwork needed, where to hand the ball off, higher, lower, right in the middle, when to let go of the ball, when to release it, how each running back wants to read option, put right in their belly. I hope he gets all of that, but also I hope he understands, hey, man, that Peach Bowl was no fluke. That was not a one-off or a one-hit wonder. No. That is what we're going to get in the National Football League. And I think the Colts or the Texans or maybe even the Bears, if they want to trade, or the Bears maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, they got Justin Fields. They still have the number 1 overall pick. Not what I think is going to happen. But, hey, maybe they want 2. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? Ultimately, I do believe what we got from Stroud in the Peach Bowl, we're going to get a glimpse of that probably before Stroud plays his 26th game in the NFL. Because we only got that from Stroud in one game. That was the 26th game that he played as a starting quarterback at The Ohio State University. I think we'll get that possibly at some point during his rookie season as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He's not in the league yet. He'll be in the league at the end of April. Where might he fall in the upcoming NFL draft? We'll discuss that next right here on Locked on Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL playoffs are here. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the number 1 sportsbook in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. New customers join today to get started with $150 in free bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to sports point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, at FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thanks for making Locked on Buckeyes your first listen today. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked on College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked on College Basketball. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcast. The NFL draft will be here before you know it. It's coming up at the end of April. The 3-day ordeal, the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, is going to be littered with Ohio State Buckeyes on every day of the draft. Day 1 is that Thursday. That is when we do believe CJ Stroud will be drafted, will be selected in this year's NFL draft. At the same time, where will he fall? There's a possibility of multiple guys going in the first round. Paris Johnson Jr., something, even though Njigba missed the entire season, that Jackson Smith-Njigba will be a first-round draft pick as well. Those guys will discuss at a later date about where they might fall in this year's NFL draft. But ultimately, when you look at the 2023 NFL draft order, I do believe there are certain spots where Stroud might fall. Now, My guess is Stroud is going to be a top 5 pick. That does not mean that he might fall and might not be a top 5 pick. He might be 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think he'll fall to 15 like Justin Fields. That's still one of the weirdest things that I thought would happen to Fields is that he would fall to where he did. And it took a team moving up. I believe it was 15, but it took a team moving up to get Justin Fields where they did, the Chicago Bears. And I'm really glad and happy that that happened. But in this year's NFL draft, the order is like this. 1 is the Chicago Bears, 2 the Houston Texans, 3 the Arizona Cardinals, 4 Indianapolis Colts, 5 Denver Broncos via a trade, 6 the Los Angeles Rams via a trade, 7 the Las Vegas Raiders, 8 the Atlanta Falcons, 9 the Carolina Panthers, and then 10 goes to the New Orleans Saints. That's via a trade as well. I do think in the top 10, there are a few spots that I can say Stroud will not go. I do not expect the Chicago Bears, if they keep the number 1 pick, to draft CJ Stroud. Number 1, they got Justin Fields. They have a QB1 quarterback that showed signs of growth in year 2. They need to put more pieces around him, not just at the skill positions, but also at the offensive line. You start to build a better roster, better offensive roster around him. I think wow, my words are all twisted today. I think that Justin Fields will be A-OK in the National Football League and will continue to get better. I'm not saying he's going to be a future multi-time Pro Bowler, maybe 4 or 5-time Pro Bowler. I'm not saying that. I just think we will continue to see signs of growth from Justin Fields. 2, the Houston Texans are an option. 3, the Arizona Cardinals are not an option. 5, the Denver Broncos, and 6, the Rams. I do not believe they are options. The Falcons, no, and the Saints. It's possible, but the Saints are not. It's possible the Titans get him at 11. I do not believe Ryan Tannehill. I do think this is the year Ryan Tannehill is a free agent, so they could go there if he falls. But I don't think Stroud falls, like I said, outside the top 5. For sure not outside the top 10 of this draft. The highest pick, I do think, without adding any trades into the equation, I do think CJ Stroud could be the number 2 overall pick in this draft going to the Houston Texans. The interesting thing about this organization is they just fired a coach in year 1. I do believe they have had a new coach, 3 new coaches in the past 3 seasons. Fire. You're up out of town. This is not good for the organization. They need some type of sustainability. And if I'm Stroud, I don't want to go there. I don't. But he can easily go there and turn the franchise around and take them to places they have never been in their 20-year or so history of being a football team. Now, the Houston Oilers are a different era. Some of you might say, well, Houston had a team. Yeah, Houston had a team, but this franchise itself, it'll be nice for the Houston, those football fans down there to be able to ride for the Texans like some of them rolled for the Houston Oilers. It would be nice for the Houston fans, the football fans down there, to have a professional football team that makes the playoffs year after year after year. Stroud can help them do that. They just got to find a way to sustain and be somewhat sustainable down there in Houston. Next is the Indianapolis Colts. Might be the weirdest quarterback situation of the past 5 years, really past 10 years. Andrew Luck was there for a hot minute. He got injured. He's gone. I can't tell you how many quarterbacks they have had over the past 5 years, but it's been quite a few. Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan experience was atrocious. It was bad. Carson Wentz got shipped out of town, but it was not his fault for how weird and how odd things went there in Indianapolis. But hey, we got to see Peyton Manning go to a Colts team in the 90s, the latter part of the 90s. Team was not good. He went 3-13 his first year. Second year as a starting quarterback in the National Football League, Peyton Manning went 13-3. We got to see great signs about what Manning can do as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Jim Irsay, the fan base of the Colts, they're chomping at the bit to get an elite quarterback, a young quarterback they could get behind, ride, and believe in. Stroud is that guy. So if he doesn't go to number 2 to the Texans, my guess is he goes 4 to the Indianapolis Colts. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. No Derek Carr. What's next? Stroud if he's available. Emphasis on if, but if he's available, those Raiders fans want a guy like this to go with and to believe in and to root for. We all know how wild and crazy the Raider fan base is, from the black hole in Oakland to what they are becoming there in Vegas. Go ahead. Yes, you may say, Jay, it's not super far, but it's still people that were not able to go to games when the team was in Oakland. The Raiders want a quarterback, and getting Stroud is a possible spot for him. Then you got the Atlanta Falcons. It's possible. You got the Carolina Panthers. It's possible. If he falls to 11 for the Titans, that is a gift that they did not expect to get at all under their tree. But that would be a great thing for him. Ultimately, I think it's the Texans and Colts trying to figure out, are they going to move up? What's going to happen with 1, 2, and 3? I don't think the Bears need a quarterback, and I don't believe the Cardinals need a quarterback. The Texans and the Colts are the teams in the top 4 that need quarterbacks, and I think one of those two teams grabs CJ Stroud. So some of you CJ Stroud homers and fanboys and whatever you want to call yourselves, maybe you might be the captain or the leader of his fan club. Be prepared to be wearing either the Texans colors or the Colts colors, because my guess right now, January 24th, that's where Stroud is most likely to fall and to get drafted in the upcoming NFL draft. Hey, man, that signing bonus, it's nice. It's real nice. Being a professional, it's nice. It's real nice. And that may be what is needed for Stroud to provide more of that Peach Bowl performance when he's on the field every time he steps on a football field. Being a professional, no more class, no more of those workouts, no more of that stuff that you do in college. Maybe that's what we need to see Stroud be the best quarterback and unleash everything in his bag when he's on the football field. One player that is consistently unleashing different tools in his bag, and I think there's more in his bag for him to unleash. It is Brice Sensabaugh. This young man just won an award for the 4th time during his freshman year playing college basketball. What award is it? We will discuss that next right here on Locked On Buckeyes. Sports betting is now legal in Ohio, and Locked On has the perfect show to help new and seasoned gamblers. Download and subscribe to Locked On Bets for daily picks and analysis wherever you get your fine podcasts. Yesterday, I was on Raider Nation Radio with your boy Q. He is the host of Locked On Bets and Locked On Raiders. We talked about Stroud, Paris Johnson Jr., Zach Harrison, Nawan Jones, even had a Thayer Munford reference in there as well. Go check out that interview on Raider Nation Radio. You can also, I do believe he actually aired that on Locked On Raiders on today's show. So if you want to get a glimpse of me in a radio interview, different form to what you get here on this show, go check out Locked On Raiders. That might be a quick and easy way for you to find that interview that I did with your boy Q as he hosted, I think it's called Unnecessary Roughness, there, talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. The football talk is over. I love football. You love football. We all love football. But I also love, and I think you love as well, watching Brice Sensabaugh play the basketball for your Ohio State Buckeyes. Brice Sensabaugh won Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the 4th time this season. This is coming off a season-high performance where he had 27 points in a win over Iowa on Saturday. Brice Sensabaugh, 6'8", 235, maybe 6'6", 235, whatever the height is, whatever the weight is, it does not matter. He ain't small and he ain't short. This man utilizes his entire frame to get into you, feel you, and utilize an old man game, a mid-range game. Someone said it's similar to a Carmelo Anthony style game. I ain't going that far. I ain't going that far, giving him that mellow respect just yet with his game. But what I will say is Brice Sensabaugh is must-watch TV for Buckeye basketball fans. If you're a Buckeye basketball fan and you loved watching Malachi Brandon play the basketball last year, and you loved watching E.J. Liddell play the basketball for the past few years, and you loved watching Dwayne Washington Jr., to me, out of all those guys I just mentioned, Liddell, Branham, Jr., I do think Brice Sensabaugh is the most fun player out of that bunch to play basketball. Now, I will say this. Freshman year playing college basketball, offense is there. Still working on the defense. Still working on it. It's work in progress. As expected, you're a freshman playing basketball in college. Nobody expects you to have the defense down as soon as you step on the court. Just like nobody expected Sensible to have the offense down as soon as he stepped on the court. And you know what? He's going to be needed for Ohio State to do anything to get into the NC2A tournament, because right now, the key, if they revert back to their ways during their losing streak, ultimately they could be on the outside in the NIT. But something tells me Brice Sensible is going to have something to say about where Ohio State plays in the postseason. You still win a trophy in the NIT. You play on a big stage in the NIT. It's on national television. ESPN cameras will be there. I do believe the Final Four in the championship game are played in Madison Square Garden. So you're playing, as many call it, the Mecca of basketball. You're doing all of these things that are still available for you. But ultimately, what does he need to do? Make sure he's playing team basketball. And he is finding ways to be a go-to guy, a go-to scorer, a walking bucket that he is this season. Brice Sensabaugh averaged 22.5 points. He shot 57% from the field, 58% from deep in a pair of games that he played last week. He recorded his third consecutive double-double with 18 points and 10 rebounds at Nebraska last Wednesday. He followed it up by making 10 of his 12 field goals, including 4 or 5 from three-point range, to finish with that game high and season high of 27 points against Iowa. That's just a snapshot of what he's done this year. That 10 of 12 shooting against Iowa, that efficiency, I think the other players fed off of that, rode that, believed in that. And for you to play how the Buckeyes did during their 5-game losing streak, and then all of a sudden playing a team in Iowa who had won 4 games of their own, all of a sudden you're 7 points away from hitting the century mark. Hey y'all, this team can hoop. And Brice Sensabaugh is a big reason why I believe that Ohio State can make the NC2A tournament. I also think if he ain't doing this and Ice likely ain't hooping like that, they could be in the NIT. Then we're having legit, serious, real discussions about if Chris Holtmann is the man in Columbus. Remember, the basketball team will not be like the football team. The expectations will not be that high. However, you are expected to win games. You are expected to be competitive in the postseason tournaments, not just the Big Ten Conference tournament, but also the NC2A tournament as well. Making the tournament, that should be a requirement for any coach that's at Ohio State. But also, you want to make sure you represent the school proud, and you make sure that the team is doing everything they can to be the best team they can be every time they're on the court. Buckeyes need Brice Sensabaugh to do anything this year, postseason-wise. If this young man keeps playing like this, I can see a 30-piece, 35-piece, maybe even 40-plus in his future during the regular season to help the Buckeyes say, hey, ride me, get on my back. I'm going to make sure we do some noise and we do some special things and make some noise in the NC2A tournament. Guys, we're out of here on a Tuesday. Hope you guys are enjoying the weather. I know I say that in the way that I did because I do believe we're going to get some snow, quite a bit of snow later this week. Stay safe. Hope you got all the food. Don't hoard stuff. Don't revert back to 2020. I know how people get during snowstorms, take all the eggs, all the bacon, all the fruit. Hey, I get it. We'll be able to drive. We'll be able to do certain things. Got to be prepared to possibly be snowed in, but ultimately be prepared to stay safe. That's the first goal, main goal. Stay safe during the possible snow that we might get later this week. Guys, thanks for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen today. For your second listen, check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Experts Isaac Shade and Andy Patton bring you everything you need to know on and off the court. Plus, hear from big-name experts, coaches, and players throughout the basketball landscape. Locked On College Basketball is available on YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcasts.